Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. Call Halem La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Racha Ha Kodash. A double honor to the elders and apostles, men of great millstone, and to the rest of the brethren on down that's teaching and preaching the true doctrine of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Shalom by Yahshua Dabada, and to the Akim and Aquat that's out there repenting, to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whose files go back to one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob Yasha Allah, and also to the speckled bird of our people that's among the other nations, looking like the other nations. Of course, whose files go back to one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob Yasha Allah. Shalom to you, Maspacha. Shahakarab coming at you with a quick one. And you see what this is about. But this is basically, it's an admonishing, and it's basically an admonishing, but I can also call it, just an uplifter to our people. Because a lot of our people, what you gonna do now? What you gonna do now? Now they come on talking about this, and it done been on cruise ships. Now it done spread it to the States and so on and so forth. What you gonna do now? See, so we gonna pull these things out, but show you, Jakes. Hey, if you ain't established in the true faith of Yahweh Shem Shai, this is what's gonna come upon you. You gonna be taken by these things. You see, you gonna be taken by them. Now the first incident they came out with maybe 5-6 years ago was what? What was it about? It was about some damn bats. You see, and now they're saying rats. You see, these are, matter of fact, let me open up with this one. Let me open up with this one. 2 Corinthians, and I'm going to read it out my sword. 2 Corinthians. You see, and then what you Jace go do now? You Jace, what you go do now? All you Jace out there running around talking about y'all believers in Yahweh Shem Shah. What y'all gonna do now? You see, what y'all gonna run? As soon as the devil say they got a remedy for you, they got this, and what you gonna run and go get it? You go run and put this stuff that's to the left, because that's, whether you know it or not, they will say, okay, but this is a virus, what you see to the left that's came from something of the right? But the same things they put in you, it looks like the same things to the left. You see? Because how you go fight off something without actually exposing the body to that very thing that it's supposed to be fighting off? You see? So what you just gonna do now? You go run and go take it. As soon as they tell you, okay, well, we will. So you don't want to be get affected by this. So you can just come and take you some poison and trust us. Trust the damn devil. Trust us, and don't worry about it. You're gonna be okay. Let's grab this. 2 Corinthians 2 and verse 11. And it says what? Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And what Satan is it talking about? Is it talking about the left-hand side angel that's up there with the Most High, that's at the left-hand side of Yahweh Shem Shah? Is it talking about him? It ain't talking about him. So what Satan is it talking about? That we are not ignorant of his devices. Who is it talking about? These very devils that came out with this. They're want to try to say that it's about this to the right of the screen. You see? That's matter of fact. Let's show you this. It's talking about a man. That's what it's talking about. And I ain't gonna punch it up because I have to go into the concordance. But let me grab this one. Let's get this in Revelations, right? See? So no matter if it says Satan, the devil, you think it's talking about the left-hand side angel. It ain't talking about him. It's talking about these goddamn devils that's walking on the earth and doing all manner of fucking wickedness, walking around thinking that they innocent. You see? This is who it's talking about. Right? But let me get this one. Revelations. Let me see. Let me see. Which one do I want? Let's get this one. Revelations 3 and verse 9. Behold, I will make them. Do I want that one? Slakia. Let's grab verse. I don't want that one. Let's grab this one. Revelations 2 and verse 10. And it says what? Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give you a crown of life. What devil is that talking about? Right there. Is it talking about Satan? Is it talking about the left-hand side angel Satan? No, it's not. You see? No, it's not. It's talking about these fucking devils that's walking on earth. When they cast your ass in jail, when they cast you in jail, yeah, it's talking about, you already know who it's talking about. Who own the prison system in America? It ain't you, Jakes. It ain't you, Jakes. You see? We already know who it is. So going back to it, 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we ain't. We ain't ignorant of the devices of these goddamn devils, man. See? There's just another way. There's just another way, you see, of their bullshit just to get you. You see? And once they get you, they got you. You see, and a lot of Jakes, you need to start trusting in Yahweh Shema Shah, but ultimately, it's already given to you. It's already allotted to you whether you're going to do that or not. You see? Because Mashiach spoke about these things that's going to come upon the earth. So we ain't ignorant of these wicked-ass devices. You got Jake. That's why I said, what you going to do now, Jake? As soon as the devil come at you and tell you, come take this and come take that, and this going to help you for this and help so you won't be able to get this or be affected by that, what you going to do? You going to run to take it? You going to run to take it? You see? Most of you Jakes is. Because y'all a bunch of unbelievers. You're a bunch of fucking hypocrites. You see? Motherfuckers trying to act like you're true believers. You're not. You're a bunch of fucking hypocrites. You're like the elder was going this early. You're a bunch of fucking actors. You see? That's what y'all is. A bunch of actors. Because that's what a hypocrite is anyway. It's just an actor. Somebody that's trying to play the part. Play the part of one thing all the while doing another. You see? But let me grab this. Matthew 24 and verse 7. And just getting it to the point. It says, what did Mashiach say, the things that's going to be happening before he returned? And we talking about the end time period. We ain't talking about way back then. Also, those things are mentioned also, but we're not talking about back then. We talking about in our time now, the end. We talking about now. And what is one of the things he said that's going to be taking place before he returned? This is one of them. Verse 7, Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine. And what it says, nation against kingdom, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation, that's talking about World War III. That ain't talking about right now. You see? And you're already seeing them. Look, how ironic that I'm bringing these out, going into this situation right here. And what you see a heathen walking past the car with a mask on his face. You see, these people are through. You see, and that's going to be the next mandate. They gonna say, "Oh, well, we need the people to start wearing masks on their face again." It's hot to the motherfucker out here. He walking down here by the coastal part, by the water, with a mask on his face. You see, these Edomites is done, man, and this kingdom is done. This kingdom is done. But what it says, Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. That's World War III. That's going to happen. And shall be famines. That's going to happen. And pestilences. What is it? What does it say? And pestilences and earthquakes at diverse places. So it said it's going to be pestilences and earthquakes at diverse places, meaning in different places. And what do you see? They saying they got cases of people that got off the boat. They went down to South Africa, where they from. You got some that's in the United States. Then you got some that's in the UK. You know, and there's some that's in South America too. You see, touched all four corners. Touched all four corners. You see, and they gonna say those individuals that they gonna say that it's gonna become an outbreak. many people more than just those that get caught whatever they caught. Is they gonna say that it was a matter of fact? Don't you know in the same thing when you go flying into another country that they give you a shot of this or a shot of that? When you go flying into other countries, don't you know that? When you go flying into these other countries, don't you know if you get on a plane right now and go say, okay, I want to go to, just say, to the UK. Whenever you fly, you an American, you fly to another country, you have to take a shot of whatever they might say. If you go take your ass to Africa or somewhere over there, they gonna tell you got to take a malaria shot. You know, that's what they'll tell you. So you don't think these people are poison you that'll give you something? And then once you get there, you wind up getting sick and they just blame it on something else? It's the same way if you get on cruise ships. You don't think that you got to take a shot when you go into these various places? When you going to sell on a cruise, you go here and then y'all finna go sell it all the way into another country on the water. You don't think that you're going to have to take a shot? Yeah, you will. You see? And that shit'll get your ass sick. But guess what they'll say? You can't blame it on them. Because did they force it on you? No, they didn't have to force it on you. You willingly accepted it. You see? And that's a problem with you people. And they gonna get a lot of y'all like that. You see? So we ain't ignorant of these damn devil's devices. You see? But continuing again and moving on. Matthew 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famine and pestilences. It says plural. Pestilences. Not just one. You know? And if you don't know what a pestilence is, it's a virus. Diseases. See? And it ain't something that's going to come out of the thin blue air. You see? Where they go find a given name to it. You see? These people are something else, man. Something motherfucking else. And you jakes, what you gonna do? Either you gonna be established in your God and trust in Yahweh Shema Shah that he'll keep you safe no matter what, or you gonna perish by these things. You gonna perish by these poisons that these devils is putting into the atmosphere or within a particular geographical location. You gonna perish by it. You see? Because y'all lack faith. You see? You lack faith. And that's what's gonna get your asses. They just got through getting you not too long ago. What, 5 years ago? When they just told you, oh yeah, it was some monkeys or bats or whatever they fucking said. You know, that okay, now these people, but those people that was over there eating this shit, ain't nothing happened to them. Wasn't nothing wrong with them. You see? So if it came because of bats, shouldn't they have been already been affected by that? Shouldn't they have been already been affected by something if they was already eating bats for years? But no, it just pop out of the blue that the C-19, and it came out of bats. It came from eating bats, and you're a fucking liar. You damn devils. And the same thing with you talking about these rodents and shit. You see? Well, why Moab ain't been running around talking about they got that shit? Why they ain't been doing that? They've been over there eating bats, rats, fucking snakes, dogs, cats. They've been eating all kind of abominable shit. Why you ain't heard about this over there in China? Going to their little markets where they be chopping up rats and grilling rats and eating bat soup and all the shit. Why you ain't heard of this then? Because they always been eating fucking rats over there. Why haven't you heard of this then? You see? The same time they was running around talking about the C-19 because of bats, well, the same time Moab was over there eating rats too. Putting them on the grills and shit, pulling the coat off of them and eating them on the grills and shit. They've been doing this shit. So why that ain't been spoke about that then? You see? It should have been simultaneously. The same time when they were speaking about some damn C-19 bullshit from some bats is the same time they should have been talking about this Hunter shit when it comes dealing with rats. Because they've been doing the same thing. They've been eating bats and rats over there. So why they ain't been speaking about this same thing twice? The C-19 and this simultaneously. You see? Man, we ain't ignorant of these devil's devices, man. They wicked ass plans. You see? They gonna destroy themselves. And it's what the Most High, he's the one that's putting it in their mind to do these wicked ass things. Because when he finally execute his wrath upon these people, they all go pay. They all go pay together. All of them. You see? But let's grab this right here in 2nd Esdras. Because you Jakes, and I'm going to read them in no particular order, but I'm just going to grab these. Because you Jakes are through, man. A lot of you Israelites out there, y'all ain't got no faith, man. Y'all ain't got no faith. None at all. None at motherfucking all. Matter of fact, let me grab this one first before I get this. Let's get St. Mark. One of my favorites, Mark the 16th chapter. And what did Yahweh Shah say? Let's read it. Mark 16 and verse 16. He that believeth, I ain't gonna read that. I'm gonna start at 17. It says, and these signs, St. Mark 16 and verse 17, and these signs shall follow them that believe. We ain't talking about empty words. We're not talking about empty words where people will say they believe, but ain't no actions behind it. You see? We're not talking about empty words here. We're talking about actual faith. And that's what Yahweh Shah is talking about. He's talking about actual faith, actual belief. Not just because anybody can say it. You see? Anybody can say it. But are they actions according to it? No, they're not. And it says what? And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. And those tongues are languages. You see? Via through the Holy Spirit. They ain't talking about no mumbo jumbo shit that they be doing in these pagan buildings. Verse 18. They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. But what it says, if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. You see? And most of you Israelites, you don't even trust that. You say you got belief, but you don't even believe that. You don't even believe that if you did come across any deadly thing, whether you drunk it or ate it, you don't believe that Yahweh Shah can keep you safe? Nah, y'all don't. Because what y'all do, y'all will go run right out there, and then when the devil tell you, hey, come take this, we got the remedy that's going to keep you safe from this, y'all go do it. And you don't trust in your power. You don't allow your faith. Why you think Yahweh Shah said a lot of times, he always said when he healed a brother or a sister of our nation, what did he say? He said, thy faith had made thee whole. You was covered. You was healed through your faith. You see? But y'all don't even allow that to play a part in your lives, man. You see? Because why? A lot of 90%, and I gotta say it, 90% of our people here in wherever I'm gonna say, but I'm in Babylon, so I'm gonna speak concerning Babylon. A lot of our people here, 90% of y'all here is a bunch of fucking unbelievers. You see? And that's why 2/3 of our people, you're gonna be cut off and you're going to die. You see? When the time comes for our people to be saved here, when the Yahweh shall return, you're going to be left and destroyed. See? Because you're unbelievers. You see, you err not knowing the scriptures, and you err not knowing the power of your power. You don't know it. You see, because you some damn unbelievers, man. Anybody can tell you, yeah, I believe. Anybody can say that. Shit, hell, anybody do say it. Any and everybody say it. But is it true? No, it's not. Because we can ask you questions according to the scriptures. We can show you easily that you are an unbeliever. Our people, or even heathens, you see? But we're focusing on our people. But we can ask you questions according to these scriptures, and you will reveal yourself to be an unbeliever. And we already know it. We can look at you. The Spirit will reveal to us that you are an unbeliever. You see? And most of you Jace, y'all gonna perish. You gonna motherfucking perish. You see? But let me go grab that 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras 15. And let's start at let me start at, I start at verse 7. 2nd Esdras 15 and 7. Therefore, thus said Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, The innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore said unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, what it says, I will surely avenge them. What he going to do to his elect? He's going to avenge us, right? And it says what? I will avenge them. Read it again. And therefore said Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And what you think this time? You think this time about ancient Egypt? No, this time about Babylon. What? He's not going to suffer us to stay in this place. He's going to deliver us out of here. Spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom, spiritual Babylon the Great. And it says what? Which is AKA America. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. And I will destroy all the land thereof. Now, what did he say he gonna do to this place? He said he gonna smite this place with what? He gonna smite it with plagues as before. You see? And what are these plagues? Let me just grab this one, verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. You see that? And that's what's gonna happen. He gonna bring all these plagues upon this place right here. And that's what you see taking place. You see? And guess what? He's going to use the devils to do it. Don't you know the most matter of fact, let me grab this real quick. What's that? Proverbs 21. Let's grab that. Proverbs 21. And it says what? The king's heart, meaning what? These individuals that's in authority. Their mind, lob, the Hebrew word is lob. It says what? Their mind is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. You see that? So the Most High controls the minds of the people, man. He the one that get them doing these things. So when Yahweh made that statement in Matthew 24 and said, what? There shall be pestilence. What you think? You think that's just going to come out of the blue? No, it's the Most High putting in these people's mind to do these particular things. Why? To fulfill his will of judgment. You see? Because they going to destroy themselves. What you think he got to making them nuclear weapons for? What you think they go break them back down after they make them? Nah, he got them he putting in mind for them to make that, because what they gonna do with it? They gonna destroy themselves with it. See, it's fulfilling the judgment of the Most High that he already got predestined for these people, man. You see. But let's grab this one on. Right, let's get to Psalms right quick. Let's go to Psalms 91. You see? So you Jakes, man, you Jakes out there, y'all better put y'all trust in Yahweh Shema Shah, because he going to smite Egypt with plagues as before, man. You see? This is one of the things our people was doing when we was in actual Egypt back then, when the Most High delivered us out of that place. It was all kind of plagues that the Most High was putting on those places. You see? And a lot of them, it was diseases too. And our people was doing what? Crying to the Most High. When you don't think that when Jake was being enslaved down there, that he was getting sick and dying and perishing of sicknesses and diseases of that place? Yeah, he was. You see? And here you is right here. You in spiritual Babylon, spiritual Egypt, and you going through it all over again. You see? One of the things of our punishments is that we was going to receive these damn diseases in this place and shit. You see? But those of our people that trust in Yahweh Shema Shah, you'll be saved from that. You see? But let me grab this Psalms 91 right quick. Psalms 91. Psalms 91. Psalms 91. And let's start. You know what? I'm going to start from the top and I'm going to read down, right? The point is 10. Psalms 91 and verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High Yahweh shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power. In him will I trust, not the devil. You see, like he said in Isaiah, the 10th chapter in the 20, around the 20, what's that, Isaiah 10 and 20. You see? We go, matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. Let me get it. So I won't butcher it. You paraphrase it, you butcher it like a motherfucker. But Isaiah chapter 10, Isaiah 10, and the verse, let's start at 20. And it says what? And it shall come to pass that in that day that the remnant of Yasharallah, the remnant of you Israelites, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them. But what? But shall do what? But shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Yasharallah, in truth, according to these words. See that? You see? So we ain't gonna trust in these devils. We gonna put all our trust and faith in Yahweh Shema Shah like we supposed to. Going back to it, Psalms 91 and verse 3. Surely he shall, matter of fact, let's start at 2 again. I will say to Yahweh, to the Lord Yahweh, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilences. What did he say he gonna do? He gonna deliver you from the noise of the fowler, meaning what? A trap for these people that set traps for you. Don't you know the wicked set traps for the righteous? Just like the last time this little bullshit happened. What do? They said the first people we want to give this to is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Who say that? Don't we say that? Don't we tell you and proclaim that the Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans? Yes, they are. You see? So what did the wicked do? Said the first people that we want to give the opportunity to take this C-19 shot is who? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's what they said. The wicked, they seek to slay the righteous, man. You see? So what you supposed to be doing? Let's read it again. Psalms 91 and 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day, nor for the pestilence that walk in darkness. What it says, for the pestilence that walk in darkness, meaning these things that they're doing behind the scenes. You see? In their laboratories, in their secret laboratories, and then putting the blame on this, or they might be spraying it in this city, or spraying it in this state, or this town, or whatever. You see? It says for the what? Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, meaning what? For the things that they're doing behind the scenes. You see? Things that you don't see. You see? Nor for the destruction that wasted at noonday. You see that? Let's continue though. And it says, 1,000 shall fall at thy right side, at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand. But it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thy eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, which is my refuge, even the Most High Yahweh, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. You see that? And this is the faith you just got to have, man. You got to have that in you. If you don't, they will come near your dwelling. You see? You know, but that ain't to say that if you see somebody coughing and doing all this shit, you go walk right up in their face and start breathing what they coughing out. No. You see? But if you're not in that place, don't worry about it. The Most High protects you, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua gonna protect you. See? But let's go back. Let's go get this one in Deuteronomy, right? Deuteronomy 7 and verse 15. Deuteronomy 7 and 15. Where am I gonna start at? Let me see. Let's start at 14. Right? Deuteronomy 7 and 14. Thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male nor female barren among you or among your cattle. Verse 15. And the Lord Yahweh will take away from thee all sickness, and will what? And will put none of these evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. So what did he say he go do? He said, in the place of your captivity, because mind you, when this was being told, we was coming out of Egypt. So it wasn't talking about when we was in Egypt. Was told to us when we came out, when we was in the wilderness. And mind you, this was being told to the offspring. This Deuteronomy is the second law. So this was being told to the descendants of our people that was finally going into the land. You see? It was being told to them. So what did it say right there in verse 15? And Yahweh will what? Take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of these evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them on all them that hate thee. You see that? And don't that sound like that Deuteronomy 30:7? When he says, when we receive salvation, what he gonna do? He gonna put all these curses upon our enemies and upon them which have persecuted us. You see? Let's get that. Matter of fact, let's grab those two. Let's get those, right? Because this is what happened, man. So, Jake, you gotta learn to put your trust in Yahweh Shema Shah. Don't be fearful of these things, man. Right? Let's get that. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 7, straight to the point. And he says, what? Matter of fact, let's start at 6. And it says, man, I'm going to read it all, but let me get to the point. Start at 6. And the Lord Yahweh thy power will circumcise thy heart and the heart of thy seed, to love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. Meaning what? We're going to be established in the faith of Yahweh Shema, unconditional faith, unmovable, unshakable faith. You see? And it says what? And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them which hate thee, which persecuted thee. See? So that's what he gonna do. So when you see this happening, you gonna see the enemies be affected by this, and then you gonna see most of our people that actually, truthfully acknowledge who they is as the Israelites and trust in Yahweh Shema Shah, they gonna be safe. You see? What did he say? You shall see 1,000 fall at thy left hand and 10,000 fall at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. You see that? Do you really trust in Yahweh Shema Shah? So he said he gonna put all these curses upon our enemies, right? And what are some of the curses that we received? Let's get it. Deuteronomy 28, right? And it says what? In the place of our captivity. Why you think they'll say, oh, these people is the ones that got the most sicknesses and illnesses? No, you know why? Because you Jake's been eating all kind of abominable shit, the things that the Most High been telling his people not to eat. You see? The damn devils told you can eat swine flesh, shrimp, crab, and lobsters, and all this other shit. Raccoons and squirrels and fucking porcupines and alligators and all that shit. No, you can't eat that. You see, they can, you can't. And when you eat it, the Most High put these particular sicknesses on your asses. You see? But let me read this. Deuteronomy 28. And let's go to 20, right? Because starting at 15 down to 68 is the curses that the Israelites will go through, the various curses that we're going to go through every time we be put in a sentence of being punished by Yahweh Shema Shah, whereas we going to go through these things throughout the dispensation of time without time dealing with whatever location we at. This is what you going to go through for being disobedient to your power. See, it ain't just talking about one time period in one place. It's going to happen periodically throughout the ages, whenever we in captivity. So it says what? Jumping to verse 20. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 20. It says, curse shall thou be when thou comest in, and curse shall thou be when thou goest out. Right? You see, what do you say? Curse shall thou be when thou comest in, and curse shall thou be when thou goest out. Right? Now let me jump down to the point though, right? Let me jump down to the point right quick. Verse 20. For the Lord Yahweh shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thy hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. And what did our people do? Have not you forsaken Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Yeah, you did. You see? And then it says what? Verse 21. The Lord Yahweh shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he had consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. You see? The Lord Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, with blasting, and with the mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. You see that? See, so when the time of our disobedience, this is what he was going to put on you. This is a punishment right here. You see? But he said he going to put these punishments upon your enemies. When you turn back to Yahweh shall be established in the faith, he going to put these punishments upon your enemies. You see? And they doing it to themselves, because ultimately it's the fulfilling of the judgment of Yahweh Shah. Let's jump down to 60. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 60. And it says what? Let's start at 59. Then the Lord Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord Yahweh bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. You see that? You see? So he said in Deuteronomy 37, he going to put all these curses upon our enemies. And that's what you see it taking place. You see? But they ain't seen nothing yet. They ain't seen nothing. You see? So any of you jakes that repent and turn back to Yahweh Shem Shah, guess what? You ain't going to have to worry about these things. He's going to protect you. You see? So you jakes, let's get one more. Let's get one more. Let's see. Let's get this one. Exodus, the 15th chapter. You see? And then people might say to you, well, see, yeah, we read the whole book. We read the New Testament and the Old Testament because it all belongs to us anyway. You see? Because what did Yahweh Shema Shah say? He said, what is that, Hebrews? He says for Hebrews, was that 10 and 7? That I am written in the volume of the book, it is written of me. So we read the volume of the book, all of it. You see? But Exodus 15, and let's get, let me see. Exodus 15, and let's start at 25. And he cried unto Yahweh, and Yahweh showed him a tree, which when he had cast it in the waters were made sweet. There he made a statue and an ordinance, and there he proved them. Verse 26, and said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of Yahweh thy power, and will do that which is right in his sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am Yahweh that healeth thee. You see that? You see? So all you got to do is return, be established in the faith, and do the things that's pleasing in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Shah. And when he bringing these judgments upon these Edomites, you ain't got to worry. You see? You ain't got to worry. You're going to see 1,000 fall at one side and 10,000 fall at the other. And I'm going to end it off there, giving all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shah Bahashem HaKwadash. Shalom to the hopeful elect of Yahweh Shem Shah. Shalom.